These are the 7 mistakes that keep you stuck at break-even. And I guarantee you are doing most, if not all of them. Not because you are dumb or haven't learned enough, but because they don't even feel like mistakes. Like the first one. I'm sure you think being stuck at break-even is mostly a strategy problem. But if that will be true, then why do you still fail with every single new strategy you try? Let's be honest. You already changed strategies at least 5 to 10 times. You backtested all of them. You paid for indicators, courses, mentorships, and yet you are still stuck at the same level. That's because every time something doesn't work, you blame the strategy. You think maybe I need better risk reward, maybe I should enter on the 5-minute instead of the 15-minute, maybe I need to use different trade management. But here is the truth. The system is not the problem. You are. Because proven systems don't fail. People do. And as long as you keep changing rules every 4 weeks, as long as you keep searching for a better edge, you will never give any system enough time to work. I used to do the same. I had like 3 different strategies, but none of them made me profitable. Not because they were bad, but because I was never patient enough to let them work. Every system needs time. It needs at least 40-50 trades to show its edge. But if you keep switching every 4 weeks, and we all know when you will switch, when the losing streak hits, you are just collecting losses. You are eating the downside, but never stay long enough to experience the upside. So often what looks like a bad strategy is actually just you killing it before it has a chance to even work. So you don't need a better strategy. You need one which is actually proven on back and forward test, and you need to stick to it. Because one of the biggest reasons you are still break-even is because you keep starting over. But even if you stick to a strategy, most likely you will still fail, because there is a deeper problem. And it has nothing to do with how you trade, but rather why you trade. Let's be honest. You didn't start trading because you like the candlesticks. You started to escape something. Your job, your financial stress, your current life. You told yourself, if I just get funded, I will be free. If I just make 10k this month, I will fix everything. And yes, it's true, but it is also the reason you are stuck. Because when your goal is to make money as soon as possible, you will do anything to make it happen. You will break your rules, you will overtrade, you will revenge trade, you will jump into setups you don't even trust just because it looks good. And then when it fails, you spiral. You will get angry, frustrated, likely take even more bad trades to try to make back what you lost. Not because the system failed, but because you needed that trade to financially save you. This isn't trading. This is gambling with justification. Look, I did the same as well. Every time I wanted to make money, I forced trades, and every time I forced it, I lost more, because my trades weren't based on my edge. They were based on fear of not being able to pay rent. See, real profitability comes from doing the same boring logical actions day after day. But if your goal is to make money, and especially fast money, then every losing trade feels like a failure, and every winning trade gives you false hope. That's how you build a gambling addiction, but not consistency. So what's the fix? Well, stop trying to make money, or at least stop trying to milk every last dollar from the market. As a trader, your job is not to make money. Your job is to follow the rules flawlessly. And the money follows that. But money is a byproduct of execution, not the main focus. But even if your mindset is finally in the right place, there is still one habit that silently resets your progress every single month. I'm sure you know the feeling. You try a new system, backtest looks great, first few trades go well, but then comes 3-4 losses, and instantly your brain whispers, maybe this isn't the one, maybe I need one more confirmation, maybe I should try that new thing I saw on YouTube yesterday, and just like that you are switching strategies again. But you are not optimizing. You are running from drawdown, running from boredom, running from the uncomfortable truth that you might be the problem, not the system. Because you can't say a system failed in 3 weeks. There is not enough sample size. You just didn't like the pressure, you didn't like the variance, you didn't like the slow, boring grind of real trading. So instead of pushing through it, you escaped. But see, the cost of switching isn't just time. It's trust. Because every time you restart, you lose the confidence you were slowly building. And no matter how good the next system looks, if you don't build real trust in it through execution and experience, you will quit that one too. It's a loop. And the more you optimize, the more inconsistent you will become. So here is the fix. Pick one proven system and commit to it for at least 50 trades. No changes, no tweaks, just pure repetition, because consistency isn't found in the perfect system, it's found in your ability to stick to one. But even if you finally stick to one strategy, there is still one more invisible force that will kill your progress from the inside. Think about your last losing trade. Did you feel disappointed even though you followed your plan? Did you question the next setup even though it was valid? Now think about a winning trade where you bent the rules just a little bit. Did you feel proud? Did you think, I'm finally back on track? If yes, you are not actually building discipline. You are building dependence on the one thing that's never stable in trading: short-term results. And that's why you can't stay consistent, because your confidence isn't built on the process. It's built on random outcomes. You only trust the strategy when it works, and the moment it doesn't, you spiral. You question everything. You start tweaking things again, and just like that, you are back to zero. This is exactly why you can't stick with a system through drawdown, because your identity as a trader is glued to how the last trade ended, not how well you executed it. I had to rewire this myself. At one point, I literally started celebrating losses as long as they were perfect execution. And by the way, that's how I'm able to stick to the exact same system for more than 4 years. Because if your confidence is tied to outcome, then your confidence will always rise and fall with each trade. But if it's tied to execution, now you are stable. You need to understand the outcome doesn't define you. The execution does, because that's the only thing you can actually control. So here is what to do. Start rating your trades based on execution quality, not profit. Make it a win when you follow the plan, and make it a loss when you didn't, even if the trade won. That's how you will achieve real consistency. But even if you execute perfectly, it won't matter if your brain can't handle probabilities. So let's say you lose 3 trades in a row. Immediately your brain starts panicking. You start doubting the system. You start thinking, maybe it stopped working, maybe this pair isn't good anymore, maybe I need to adjust something. But what if I told you those 3 losses meant absolutely nothing? See, you might think you understand probabilities, but you don't. You act like every trade should follow some perfect pattern. Let's say you have 40% win rate, but when you lose 6 in a row, you question if trading even works. Let's say you backtested, but after 3 bad trades, you are changing the rules. Why? Because you are not using math. You are using emotion and calling it trading. This is why you always break the system too early, because you think the market should reward you instantly. But that's not how statistics work. Even a 40% win rate strategy can have 8 losses in a row. And that's normal. Trading is not about avoiding losing streaks. It's about understanding that they are built into the system. And if you can't handle 10 losses without changing anything, then you don't actually have a strategy. Probability only makes sense across large samples. The smaller your sample size, the more random your results will be. It's math. It's a fact you can't argue against. So here is the fix. Decide beforehand how many trades you will commit to before judging anything. Track your system in groups of 30-50 trades minimum, and only change things based on that at least somewhat reliable data, not based on fear. That's what makes you a trader. Trading based on facts and not your feelings. But even if you do understand the numbers, if you are managing risk the wrong way, you are still guaranteed to blow your account. You watched someone on YouTube who risks 2%, so you copied it. You saw some guy say, I risk 500 per trade, so you did the same. And maybe it worked until it didn't. The second you hit 3-4 losses in a row, you freaked out. Started changing the system, started hesitating, started skipping setups. Not because the strategy stopped working, but because you never tested your real risk tolerance under pressure. Have you ever even thought about an 8 loss streak and needing to hold your risk size even on the last trade? No. Then what are you basing your risk on? See, this is not about risk per trade. This is about risk per trader, risk per experience, risk per pressure tolerance, risk per strategy. You are not the guy from the video. You are not your favorite trader. You are you. And until you test your own limits, you will never know where they really are. Real trading is not about maximizing profit per trade. It's about surviving long enough to let your edge play out. A good system plus bad risk management equals failure every single time. So unless you backtested emotionally, meaning you fed the pressure and tracked your behavior, you don't actually know your risk tolerance. Traders often break down not because of losses, but because they use risk management optimally, which might be optimal if you are looking at pure math. But here is the thing, you are not a robot. You are a human. And optimization will not matter if you can't follow your system. So here is what to do. Pick a small risk, simulate an 8-trade losing streak, and ask, could I genuinely hold this through drawdown on a real pro firm account without tweaking anything? If the answer is no, you are using too much risk. Lower it and test again. This is how real traders build longevity. But even if your risk is dialed in, you will still fail if your mindset is built on the wrong expectations. Because most traders still think trading should be fun. You get bored when there is no setup. You want to feel something when you are in a trade. You love that small dopamine hit when you enter a trade and the price is starting to move up and down. You want to be involved and trade every day. But that's a problem, because trading is not entertainment. It's not supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be boring. And the moment you maybe unconsciously start optimizing for excitement, you destroy the system. You will overtrade, you will revenge trade, you will chase the market just to feel alive. But profitable traders don't chase emotional highs. They chase execution. When I stopped trying to feel something from trading, I finally became consistent. Not because I became smarter, but because I finally acted on logic, not emotion. Think about it. A casino doesn't play games to have fun. It runs a system, a boring, statistical, ruthless system. That's why it always wins. You want to win long term? Stop treating trading like a game. There is no thrill, there is no feeling good. There is just process, execution, data, and repeat. And look, if you want to have fun, that's totally fine. Open a smaller account and go crazy. But don't expect to make consistent living out of it. The best traders are execution machines. They still care about growth and money, but they execute like they don't. So if you still need the market to feel good, you are not ready to make real money. You need to fix your mindset first. So these were the reasons you are still stuck at Breakeven. But even if you fix all of these mistakes, you will never achieve profitability if your strategy is not profitable in the first place. So watch this video to find out if your strategy actually works in real market conditions, because if it doesn't, you will waste months and thousands of dollars before even realizing it.